Now, hey, my sweet friends, welcome back to From the Holler. If you're new around here, my name is Missy, and on this channel, we are dedicated to loving and supporting each other through our loved ones' addictions, no matter what those addictions may be. This is a safe and judgment free zone. Okay? Anybody seen acting up, trots, whatever it may be, they're going to be blocked. They're going to be banned. Okay? Any judgmental fancy nancies, they're going to be blocked and banned too. So don't worry about it. Okay? We get judged enough out in the real world. We're not going to do it here on my channel. Promise you that. So, yeah. I hope everybody's week is going amazingly. We all deserve one of those weeks. Unfortunately, we cannot have them every week. That sucks. But thus is the life of addiction, right? So, hey Randall, hi darling. Hey Kathy, hey Jesse, hey Susan. Oh, so anyway, I got eat up by mosquitoes when I went up to gather the eggs from the chickens just a little while ago. My arms are itching off. My legs are too. Hey Jean, how are you? So there is a pinned comment, and it's also in the description box. It is the link to our private Facebook group. Okay? It is called From the Holler, just like this channel is. I thought about changing the name, and I thought, no. So, yeah, it is a private group. Nobody is going to see anything that you post or that you comment or any other little thing. Nobody is going to see it except for the people that are in the group. I am screening request to join right now, just because I have had I've had to be like, who is that? And then I figure out who it is, okay? Yeah. So anyway, do not forget, click the link, okay? Copy the link, whatever you need to do, or go to Facebook, type in the search bar From the Holler. I have put where you can find the group. It's visible, but it's a private group, okay? Yes, you did, Miss Ruby. Yes, you did. And you have been accepted into the group. So, woohoo! Hey, Lori. Hey, Lori. How are you, darling? So, anyway, I guess we probably just need to jump into tonight's topic. Um, Hang on. My goodness. Hey, Dawn. Oh, really? Well, that's great. That is great. Hey, Ashley. That is great, Dawn. Hello, Dawn's mama. Hey, Marianne. Susan. We had to turn them away. They are living out of the car. We had to help with gas money. Oh, my goodness, Susan. Did you know they were coming, or was it like sprung on you? I'm being, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Hey, Sandra. Thank you. Let me go over here and take care of these that have requested. Okay. Let me handle this real quick. 4 new ones. Approve, 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 approve. There you go. Okay. There you go. Anyway, Oh, thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Total surprise. Wow. Is it not shocking? No. Anymore, nothing is shocking in this addiction life. Okay? It's not. It is shocking when it happens. Dang, girl, I'm sorry. That just blows my mind. Thank you, Lori. I am rested, even though today we have done school. I have made salsa verde and got it canned. What else did I did some other things. It's been a busy day. Oh my Lord. $600. That's crazy. That is crazy. I am so sorry, Em. I am. I know the position that that's put you in. And I know that as mama, it's breaking your heart. You know, I just, it's breaking your heart to have to say no to him, to them. Have I got any videos up yet in the Facebook group? I have a welcome video up. I actually tried to put one up this morning, but we didn't have any power this morning, which meant no internet. Good Lord, y'all, my hair. Which meant no internet, and it never would load. So I tried to put a video up, and I'm going to tell you guys about that video, what happened and stuff. Oh, and I bet you can't, Dawn. I bet you can't. That is awesome. Please keep me updated on how things are going with her, okay? I know you're scared. I know. I know, darling. Somebody asked me the other day, and it might have been in the group, you know, or no, it wasn't. It was a message that I got from one of you guys. And she said, when does this sick feeling go away? Waiting on the other shoe to drop. Right now they're doing good, but I'm still, worked up and tore up and nervous and all that. When does this go away? And I'm like, unfortunately, it doesn't go away. It lessens over time, but it doesn't go away because your body is so used to, how do I put this? Your body is so used to just BS going on every day, right? And you never know when it's going to slap you in the face. And the surprises, like Susan, apparently, just, you never know what's waiting around that corner. So your body is constantly tense. And that's not something you can just move on from, day one or even week one or month one or year one of sobriety. That's not something your body can just move on from. Again, it can lessen, but it's not going to go away. You're still in fight or flight mode. And that's just the way it's going to happen. It does get exhausting. Yes, it does. Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. It's crazy. Crazy. If he had come himself, we would have let him come home. Yeah. I know. I have said for years that two addicts cannot get sober together. And I still haven't seen proof of that, of it actually happening. Um, my son and daughter-in-law are perfect examples. She's been clean and sober for years. He has not. I'm not saying that he should leave her or she should leave him, or I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that 9 times out of 10, two addicts together, one's going to want to get sober, the other one's going to half-ass it. Okay? And one of the two is going to fall back into using. And as soon as they do, the chances of them dragging the sober partner down with them and them using again is outrageously high. Outrageously high. It's a catch-22. If y'all catch my drift, I'm trying to be nice tonight, okay? I'm trying really hard to be nice tonight. Because I've not been nice for the past couple of days. Okay? I've not. I have been banned from a Facebook group because I've not been nice. Okay? But when I see public elected officials on Facebook and they are calling people crackheads, and they are saying things that don't need to be said, this old girl has a problem with that, okay? And when she knows that they are public elected officials, we call them out, okay? And we take them to school and we educate them on the correct way that should be discussed. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, okay? That's one of the reasons for the title of this video. That's what led up. That's what led up to things. Okay, hang on just a minute. Nope, Kathy, I think I got you. I got you. You are good. You are golden. You're in. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah. There's that. I received a message from a girl, and I say a girl, okay, she could be one of my kids. Y'all, my hair, it's driving me crazy. I don't know this girl, okay? When I sold Pure Romance, I think she came to one or two of the parties that I did up in her area, but I don't know her, okay? I don't remember her. The name is just familiar. I don't know. We're friends on Facebook. We have one mutual friend, but that mutual friend doesn't even use that account anymore. So I don't know this girl, but she sent me a message and she was telling me that she was in a rehab in Colorado and she needed money for her commissary, I guess. I don't know. Wanted me to send her money. She was told me that she was trying to get her life back together. She's trying to get her kids back and do the right thing. Now, this girl is not from Colorado. I don't know what she's doing in Colorado. Maybe that's where she found a rehab at. I don't know. I don't know the story. Okay. But she wanted me to send her money and then screenshot the amount that I had sent to her so she would know what she could spend. Exactly, Marianne. Big red flags set off. Okay. Uh, First of all, it broke my heart. Okay. It broke my heart because what if that was my kid? I don't know if she's got, family, mom, dad, siblings. I don't know this girl, okay? All she knows is that I post a whole lot about addiction on my personal page. Okay? No different than I do here. No different than I do on the Facebook group, okay? I am very open and honest on social media about the things that I go through. So I'm sitting there thinking, what if that was my son that was desperate enough? The what ifs, y'all. It. Mm, what if that was my son that was desperate enough to contact somebody he didn't even know? Just somebody, some random person that he saw on Facebook, that he saw talking about addiction, knew that they were a warrior against addiction, and felt like he had to reach out to them. Okay? He was that desperate. I know for a fact you do not send an addict money. Okay? You do not. Not without knowing what the actual story is. You do not. So I put my best private investigator hat on and I went in search of family members of this girl to tell me what's going on, what's the real story, and all the things. Okay? Y'all, I can't find anybody. I can't find anybody. I'm not sending this girl money. If it was sent directly to the rehab and on an account for her at the rehab, that would be different. To send her money straight to her via Venmo or Cash App or whatever else, um, that's a total, that's a red flag for me. Okay, and I am not. I'm not going to be the one that sends her money that she uses to go out and buy that last hit. and it unalives her. I'm not going to be that person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to I hate to not help somebody that's trying to help themselves. Okay? I hate to not help somebody that's trying to get their life on track, that's trying to get their kids back, that's trying to do the right thing, that's trying to live right. That bothers me. Okay? That bothers me. If you if you knew me deep down personally, you would know that that eats at me. Okay? I will give anybody the shirt off my back and go bare in order to help somebody. I would give them my last dollar if I thought they needed it. I would give them the food on my shelves if I thought they needed it. But I cannot live with myself. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with my child. And I know that drives some of you crazy for me to call him my child. He is my child. I couldn't do that to my child and take that risk. And I sure as hell am not going to do it to somebody else's child and put them at risk. If she's telling the truth, she's got babies out there. And I would not want to know that I took that mama away. That the money that I sent was used in the wrong way, and it took her away from them babies permanently. There's no longer a chance for her to get better and do things better for her kids and get her kids back. I'm not going to do that. So it broke my heart to tell her no. She sent me a message back and told me that they were allowing her to work in the kitchen in order to be able to afford some things. That made me feel better, you know. If this is all true and this is all real and all that, she's earning her own money, she's earning her own keep. That will keep her on a better track. Okay? I thought this was a few days ago. Hold on, my darling. This was a few days ago. I've not heard anything back from her. I probably won't. You know, her need of me is over and done with. She knows that I'm going to stand firm on my beliefs and my decisions. You can just go to Facebook and type in From the Holler, and it'll bring the group up if you can search it. I don't know if you can access the link on mobile or not. I have no idea. So, yeah. She's been weighing heavily on my mind, and I am praying hard for this girl. If she's really trying, then, you know. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know all about the grifters and the hackers and all the things. Ugh. crazy. Catching up on a few of these. the Hang on just a minute, darling. The next thing I want to talk about is education. Okay? We've talked a little bit about this before, and I'm gonna get me a drink. Hold on a minute. I sucked it down the wrong pipe. Oh. We've talked about judgmentals, nosy rosies, and the ones that just talk out of their butts because they don't know. They don't know. And they refuse to educate themselves about addiction. One, and this is my opinion, okay? One reason why they refuse to educate themselves about addiction is because it's easier to blurt out some stupid stuff than it is to go and educate yourself and know the facts before you open your mouth, right? It's just easier. It's easier to blurt out some rumored BS that's been said, kind of like fake news stuff, right? Just a moment. Yes. Can I help you with something? Oh, you gonna cause my chair to break? What are you doing? Quit. Huh? What are you doing?
Tiring.
What?
Tiring.
Thank you.
I spat on you.
You did.
I didn't mean to. Indigo.
Can I help you with something?
What's indigo?
Indigo, it's a color.
Yeah,
Well,
but that isn't just
okay.
indigo.
That's mine.
I know.
Nosy breeches. Are you out? Bye.
Bye.
Oh my Lord. Anyway. So yeah, I think it's easier to just blurt out stupid. Okay? Number two is I think they're afraid of addicts and addiction. It's easier to lump all the addicts together, okay? Because the narrative has been, always has been, and to an extent, it is true, okay? Addicts lie, cheat, and steal, right? To most people out in society, addicts are scum of the earth, and that's exactly what they call them. They are worthless. They are dirty. They are blah, 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 whatever, What they don't see is the individual addict and the people that stand behind that addict that love them unconditionally. They don't see the mama and the daddy standing back there squalling their eyes out, walking the floors, hoping and praying that tonight's not the night that they get that phone call, text, or knock on the door. They don't see that. Society has made it to where excuse me, society has made it to where they're scared of them. Okay? They're all bad. They're all this. They're all that. They're all, you know what I'm saying? Addiction does not define a person. Let's get that straight. It does not define the person that is struggling with it. Do I need to say that louder? Can I get an amen? Thank you, Mary Ann. You know, even on the movies. I mean, y'all, I used to be one of the biggest movie buffs ever, okay? I kept up with the movies that were coming out. I watched the movies, the new movies. I was a huge... y'all, I sucked that drink down the wrong pipe. Anyway, um, I was a huge movie buff, and now I refuse to. They portray addiction in movies. It's just nasty. Okay? It's nasty. It's not how it looks in every situation. It's not how it looks in everyday scenarios. It's not. Don't get me wrong, Dylan. I do kind of keep up with some of the scary movies. Okay, I am a huge horror movie fan. There's your little chunk of information. I do keep up with them. But other than that, I don't care. I have bigger and better things to worry about in this day and time. So, you know, it is what it is. Education could help so many things. Okay? And in my opinion, if you work with the public, whether you be a worker at McDonald's, a server at Pizza Hut, a clerk at a grocery store, a transit driver, whatever the case may be, an Uber driver, Instacart, whatever the case may be, if you work with the public, you need to be trained. You need to be trained on how to use Narcan. You need to be trained in how to deal with things that you might see while working with that public. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. If you work in a jail, let me get very specific here. If you work in a jail, whether you are a corrections officer or you are a dispatcher, or you are a jail nurse, or you are the sheriff himself, herself, whatever the case may be, you need to be educated on how to use Narcan. If you're going to put these people in that jail, listen to me, if you're going to put these people in that jail for doing what they do, You're responsible for those people. You need to have, one, you need to have a nurse, a full-time nurse. Actually, you probably need 2 to 3, okay? Whether they work an 8-hour shift or a 12-hour shift or whatever the case may be. You need to have full-time nurses. You need to pay them as full-time nurses doing what they do. When you bring these people in, that nurse needs to be paying attention to those people that you just brought in, because guess what? More than likely, since they were arrested for a drug charge, either you caught them using or you caught them with said drugs. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen in your jail or in your correctional facility? Guess what? Guess what's going to happen? They're going to start detoxing. They're going to start detoxing. And do you know how dangerous that can be? Do you know how dangerous it can be for them to be detoxing with no medical oversight whatsoever? I do. Seen it. Do you expect the other inmates to do your freaking job and let you know, hey, this person's in trouble over here, he needs help, you need to get somebody? Because guess what? When they finally get around to doing anything medically for you, and if something happens to you, let's say they take you to the hospital, okay? Let's just say that. If they take you to the hospital and you get worse while you're there, and God forbid you pass away while you're there, guess what? Do you think that police department is going to admit liability for not getting you there sooner? No, they're not. You know what they're going to do? They're going to turn it around and they're going to blame the hospital. Okay? Because they're going to say that you weren't in their custody at that time, even though you were technically in their custody. This is going on right now, locally, right here. It's going on right now. What, buddy?
I'm writing a journal.
You're writing a journal?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Go on in there, son. Go on in there. Be a good boy.
Do you have any download?
What?
Do you have any Gain laundry detergent?
Not right now. We'll deal with that in a little bit. He's wanting to make slime. Go on. Thank you. I totally agree with you, Kathy. I totally agree with you. They will allow some other stupid shit in the schools, but they won't allow that to happen. I think I totally see that. Yep. Awaken, you are right. And some of the drugs that are out there right now, it takes 10 Narcans. Do you know how many they carry around here? That's it. If you don't respond by 2, you're just shit out of luck. Two. Don't I know the same has happened to Joseph. He detoxed without any medical supervision in jail. How many people are they going to lose? How many is too many? How many is too many? And this is happening all over the country. I know it's not just happening here at these little podunk county jails. It's just ridiculous. I know it's happening all over the country. What is the acceptable rate of deaths that a state allows? That's medical malpractice to me. Okay? That is so many things. Call it so many things. Negligent homicide to me. If we're going to hold the dealers responsible for putting the drugs with the addict, let's hold everybody responsible that contributes to the death of an addict. I'm not pulling any punches. Okay? I'm not holding anything back because it could be my kid. It could be your kid. It could be your kid. It could be your kid. Who knows whose kid it could be next. Okay? And if I sit here and I shut up and I don't say what's put on my heart to be said, and we all do that, they're lost. Okay? They're lost. I've told you a million times, they don't have a voice. And if they did have any sort of a voice, it's not going to be listened to because of the negative Nellies and the chatty Cathys and the judgmental Judys out there. Okay? There's some guys out there too. I'm not just calling out the women, okay? There's some guys out there too. I promise you that. I think if you are a first responder, a fireman, an EMT, a jailer, works at a jail, at a prison, corrections officer, whatever, I don't care what you are, from the janitor all the way to the top, needs to be trained. You don't know. And you don't know whether stuff's going to be brought in there or not. Okay? Again, this is happening locally. It's found out that some of these untrained jailers were allowing stuff to be brought in. Were they getting paid under the table? Who knows? Don't care. Should never happen. Everybody needs to be trained. Everybody needs to go through training. At the very least, learn how to administer Narcan. At the very least. Hell, you don't know when you go to the grocery store or to Walmart or anywhere, Target, anywhere that's got a buggy, okay? You don't know when you grab hold of that buggy if you're grabbing hold of fentanyl. Do you know how much it takes to put you down? A granule of sand. You're out. You're gone. Even the powder, the residue from fentanyl will take you out. You don't know what you're putting your hands on. When you go to grab that gas pump handle and you go to pump your gas, who had it before you did? Who did? When you go to pick up that box of macaroni and cheese off the shelf, who touched it before you did? When you go to bite into that apple that you got from the produce section of the supermarket, who touched it before you did? What's on it? Do you know? When you go to open a door at a gas station and you're opening that door, you know, push or pull, and you're opening that door, who had their hand on that gas station door? I'm just asking. Just asking. I'm not here. I am not here to butter y'all up and to blow smoke. Okay? I am not. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you the blunt and honest truth. Otherwise, I'm doing everybody out there that's watching this right now a disservice. Okay? There's things that I've not even thought of. Okay? There are things that I've not even thought of that I'm sure you guys could come back and tell me. That's one of the reasons for the Facebook group, so that we can have more one-on-one conversations. We can have more blunt, open, and honest conversations that we can't do on here. Okay? We can open up and delve into a topic even more than we ever could have on here. You can already see the trots and the bots and the trolls and all the things popping in. Okay? That's not going to happen on that group. We can get down to business and we can come up with plans of how we're going to get through this, because by God, we're going to get through this one way or the other. What I would like to see would be for all of us to come together. I have almost 6,000 subscribers. I know a lot of people's going to be like, woo-hoo, you got 6,000 subscribers. That ain't shit. Whatever. Okay? If it reaches one that needs to hear it, that's good enough for me. I'd like to see all of us come together. Can you imagine the voice that we could have if we all came together and we all stood side by side and we all said what needed to be said? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how proud our kids, whether they're the ones that are affected by the addiction or not, can you imagine how proud our kids and our grandkids would be to know that their mom or their grandma or their mama or their nanny, whatever the case may be, that their parents or their grandparents stood up for what they believed in, stood up for something right, stood up and helped put a pin in the war on drugs. How many lives could we save if we all got together and did exactly that? How many lives could we save? My kid? Your kid? My grandkids? Your grandkids? Your brother? Your sister? Your aunt? Your mama? Your daddy? I'm just asking. People, it is way beyond time that we stopped. We stopped being silent. We stopped hiding in the shadows because of the judgmental Judies. or the judgmental Johns. How many more do we have to lose before we understand we are the line of defense? We are the line of defense when it comes to our loved one's addiction. I've talked about this channel before. It's called We Fight Monsters. It's Ben and Jess Owen. Sean Ryan did an interview with both of them, a couple months back, maybe 3. I don't know, y'all. Me and trying to remember time. Okay. They are fighting the war. They are fighting to take back the Memphis area. Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. And they're in Washington right now, making a plan with the powers that be, with the ones that can help get the job done. They are an awesome duo, husband and wife, awesome duo. Love them to pieces. Never met them, would love to. Okay, they are an awesome duo. I follow them here. I follow them on Facebook. They are fighting the good fight. And I am so proud of both of them. I would love to see something like that happen both here and elsewhere. I mean, I am not opposed to doing what it takes in order to get things rolling, not just here, but in your area, whatever it may take. Okay? I am not. I'm done. Okay? I've had my fill up to here with the remarks, with the stupidity, with the refusal to do any sort of education. I have asked multiple times, and we've talked about this too, where is the federal abatement money for this county, for my county? Okay? It is supposed to be public knowledge. Where is this money? I still have not gotten an answer a year later. Yes, we fight monsters. Yes. Ben and I think it's Jessica Owens. Yeah. I'm going to preach, okay? I'm going to preach. And when I get tired, I'm going to hope that there's one of you standing there beside me, behind me, in front of me, wherever the case may be, and you're going to take over and you're going to preach while I catch my breath. Okay? Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to get back on that soapbox and I'm going to preach some more. I'm done. I am done. Yep, Dawn. Yep. It's a revolving door. It is a revolving door. Dawn says there is so much government corruption in her area and the courts make so much money off of the addicts by keeping them on probation and in jail. Yes. I have preached this before. Okay? It's a darn revolving door. They know them addicts ain't got no money. Okay? They're not offering them any kind of support while they're in. They know what they are. Okay? There's no such thing as drug court around here. None whatsoever. They know there is no kind of drug court. There is no help being offered. Just like the little podunk jail that Joseph's in right now. There is nothing. He's sitting up there playing freaking spades. Okay? Biding his time. There is nothing. They have nothing. And it's a continuous motion. If it's going to be offered in one state, by God, it better be offered in all 50 of them. Okay? If it's going to be offered in one county, it better be offered in all of them in that state. That's my opinion. That's my stance, and that's the one I'm going to stick with. If you're running a jail and you do not have any medical professionals working for that jail, you better darn sure be putting in for a federal grant or something to get some money coming in to hire a medical professional before you lose somebody detoxing and their family just happens to be pissed off and hurt enough to hold you liable for their loved ones passing. Because you know what? You are liable. You had that person in your custody. You were responsible for their well-being. And you chose that you would rather spend that money somewhere else that was coming in and supposed to be earmarked for other things, but you chose to spend it on something else. $40 million jail. You are liable for their death. You are. And you need to be held accountable. Do I need to say it louder for those in the back? If that offends anybody, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You see, I used to pussyfoot around with this, okay? And be like, there's no way. I didn't want to believe that this was actually going on until my son started spending quite a bit of his time in, all these different little county jails around here and finding out exactly what the truth is. Yeah. You'd be surprised. If you think the Good Old Boys networks ain't still in service around here in good old East Tennessee, you'd be sadly mistaken. Okay? If you'll remember, we talked about, I think it was last time, Sunday, we talked about the 74-year-old pastor that died in police custody in Monroe County, Tennessee. Well, the indictments were handed down and arrests are starting to be made. And then the sheriff decided to post his version of the truth, and he just doesn't see his officers doing that. It was the medical examiner only changed the cause of death because of videos from the media. They've not watched the 9.5 hours of the actual videotapes where this was offered and the man said no and this was offered. You know what? That sheriff needs to shut up. Maybe he needs to be looked into. Just saying. You ever notice how when someone dies in jail, you may hear it on the news once, but there just never seems to be an open investigation. And if there is any more info, it is always the inmate's fault. Yes. That's what I'm telling you about um, something happened to an inmate, Monroe County, Tennessee. Okay? This is another investigation. He was a type 1 diabetic. He told them he needed his medicine. They refused him his medicine for days. A type 1 diabetic cannot live without insulin. They refused his medicine for days. He finally went out on him, and they rushed him to the hospital where he went into a diabetic coma, I guess, and he died. And guess what? Guess what? The sheriff's department says, oh, not our fault. He wasn't in our custody when he died. So the hospital's being sued too. There's a federal suit right now against Monroe County, against the hospital. I can't remember who else. There's several others. It's like, really? Really? You just threw that hospital right under the bus. They didn't have any control over when you finally got off your ass and decided to take him to the hospital. They didn't have any control over that. They tried their best to save his life because of your negligence. But you're going to sit there and say that he wasn't in your custody. He was in the custody of the hospital. Yeah. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. You know, oh Lord, what in the world? My little county, our little county, uh, they're super overcrowded, and they're wanting to build a $40 million jail. Okay? $40 million jail. So they can house federal prisoners and get some federal money. They can't take care of the prisoners they have now. But yeah, let's build a $40 million jail. Yeah. What, so you can continue to hire untrained, unprofessional people off the street that have been fired by another county for doing wrong, and they come here and apply, and you're like, okay, come on. No training whatsoever on how to be a corrections officer or a jailer or a deputy. We had a deputy got a call about a nuisance dog, and he walked into these people's yards, and there were two dogs in the people's yard, and of course they were pit bull, and of course they're gonna walk towards you. Okay, you're a stranger in their yard. Any dog is going to walk towards you. I don't care how big it is, how small it is. They're going to bark, they're going to walk towards you. He was heard on body cam that he said to those dogs, he never knocked on the people's door. He went around the back of the house. Okay? He did not announce himself. He didn't do anything. He went around the back of the house. That's where the dogs were at. They came towards him, and he was heard on body cam saying, "I bite back." He pulled out his service revolver and unalived one of the dogs right there in his yard. And the SOB still has a job because, why? Here's the thing, guys. He was fired from a neighboring county for misconduct. Okay? There have been protests at the courthouse. There have been other things happen. There's videos. There are bunches of videos out there of the girl, young lady, and her daddy cussing him up one side and down the other. And the man standing there looking like a stick figure, and his eyes are rolling in the back of his head. He looks like he's high as a damn kite. Okay? Looks like he's on something. And he could care less. And they are cussing him up one side and down the other. She's screaming and crying, which I would have been too if it had been my dog. I would have been too. Okay? But that SOB still got a job. Sorry, but he needs to go. We had another case where one of the deputies got lost. Had only been with the, hi darling, had only been with the department for, I don't even remember. It was a few months or right at a year or something like that. And he went out on call and picked up a girl, an addict, okay? And y'all, they made it out to be this girl's fault. But let me finish the story. He got lost and wound up driving in the lake. She was handcuffed in the back seat of that police car. She didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of making it out of there. Not a snowball's chance. They found him out away from the car in the water. She was in the back seat still cuffed. I hope and pray to God that that girl's kids, she had young kids. I hope and pray to God that that girl's kids owns this freaking county. They deserve it. They deserve it. They did a press conference and came out and said that that girl, Tabitha, say her name, Tabitha, that she was very well known to the sheriff's department. And she was known to cause trouble. And she was living up under a bridge. Hey, there are a lot of addicts that are homeless. Newsflash. Okay? And that she was known to cause a lot of trouble. And had she not been causing trouble that night, they'd both still be alive. Okay? Broke my heart. Broke my heart. It's almost like she asked for it in their eyes. Yes.
This is my journal. It's kept extra secure,
Oh, good Lord.
so no one else can read it.
Do not drop that on me.
I will not.
There's his
And
journal.
it has a lock on it.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Yep. But key.
Y'all, that is just the tip of the iceberg of things that are currently going on here and around here. Okay? Corruption out the tailpipe. I just want to see the abatement schedule. Okay, the payment schedule, where the money's going, where it's going. My guess is that it's gone. It's gone. Okay, the neighboring county, they've started a drug coalition. They've hired two people. One works at the hospital up there, and one works. We don't have a hospital here, but one works at the hospital up there. The other one works at the health department, and they're all the time doing classes, going into the jail. I mean, that's where Joseph was at. Okay, that's where he got arrested into. They're doing really good with their drug abatement money. They have created things to help solve the problems. They're the ones that put on the big International Overdose Awareness Day program or event that I was supposed to go to. I know, right? Him and that chain and lock. They're doing really well. What's this county doing? Where's it going to? Where's it going? Why are we not doing anything? Are none of us, suffering from losing someone to addiction or to an overdose, or has our kids not? You see what I'm saying? Why do we not have anything out in the public eye that they can point at and say, your abatement money is working for you? Why? Why? I want to know. I want to know. That's supposed to be public knowledge, public record. I asked for it, you put it in my hand, boom. That's the way it's supposed to be. I can go to the neighboring county and I can get that information all day long, but I can't go to my own county and get it. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. No. Yep, Ashley. He had that darn chain hanging. He took one of my pictures down in my bedroom and hung that chain on that nail. And it was over my bed. Okay. That was not going to work for me. I was not sleeping with that chain hanging over my head. Was not. I don't have all the answers. Okay? We're smart people here. We can. Bye, darling. Thank you. We can put our heads together and we can come up with some solutions. Are they all going to be like mind-blowing? I don't know. But hell, anything's better than nothing. Anything's better than us sitting here. Okay? We can put our heads together and we can come up with something. Between all of us, we have hundreds of years of experience dealing with the real life situations of addiction. Not this made up in our heads, or made up in Hollywood, or made up in rumors and all the things. We have this real life experience. We know what it's like to be in the trenches of this. We know what it's like to pace the floors 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay? We know what it's like to go into panic mode when we see that we've missed a call from an unknown number And you just wonder, oh God, was it them? Was it the notification? Are they going to be coming and knocking on my door? And you have no way to call back because it was an unknown number, unknown caller, no ID. You have no way of calling it back. So you spend the next 4 days wondering if your child is alive. Until you walk into a store in a neighboring county, and there he is, or there she is. In my case, there he is. And your first inclination is to run and grab him and just hold on for dear life. You want to just melt into a puddle on the floor, okay? Because you have been living on coffee, cigarettes, and nerves for 4 days. You want to just melt into a puddle of relief. And you want to go grab him and hug him so bad. But you can tell he's been using. You can tell he's been up for days. He looks like Skeletor. He's not brushed his hair. He is skin pulled over bones. His clothes are sagging on him. He's dirty. But in that moment, you know he's alive. And in that moment, you realize that's enough for you at that point in time. That's good enough. You know that wasn't the notification that you were worried it was going to be. You know he's alive. So you turn around and you walk back out of that store and you get in your car and you scream and you cry and you beat that steering wheel almost to death. But all at the same time, you're thanking God for putting him in front of you so that you know he's alive. You saw your baby, and he is my baby boy. Okay? He's my beautiful boy, one of my beautiful boys. Y'all, I pulled down. There was no way I could drive that day. This is a true story, if you ain't already figured that out. I pulled down to the bottom of that parking lot, and I sat there. I don't even know how long I sat there. I sat there and cried. I sat there and thanked God that I had that relief moment. I sat there and cried because of the way he looked. He looked so scary. I hadn't seen him. At that point, I had not seen him in months, I guess. And I didn't realize how bad he would look. how much weight he had lost. I wasn't prepared for that part. Maybe I cried for the loss of time that I had endured during those 4 days, or during his, at that time, I don't remember how many years we had been in active addiction. I don't know. This was 2 or 3 years ago. It's when his drug of choice was meth at the time. So it may have been a little bit more than that. I would have still fought for that boy. Had anybody said anything within my earshot, or anybody looked at him cross-eyed while I was standing there staring a hole through him, just to make sure that that was my baby boy and that I was seeing what I thought I was seeing. I think I would have tore him up at that point in time. We need to come together more now than we ever have. These drugs that are out here on the streets right now, they're unaliving people instantly. Okay? These are not the drugs from, back the 70s, 80s, even some of the 90s. These are not them anymore, guys. Okay? These are not them anymore. It's not the recreational. Okay, even the stuff that you can buy in the convenience stores, the gas stations and stuff. This ain't time to play. This ain't time to, you know, lay down and be quiet. This is the time to stand up and scream. Scream their names. Let the world know. Let the world know that you're one pissed off mama, or you're one pissed off daddy, or whatever the case may be. And you're not going to lay there and take it anymore. You're going to fight. You're going to be their voice, and you're going to do whatever is necessary to do in order to try to save your child's life. Okay? That time is here. That time is now. And that's what I plan on doing. So, anyway, we are almost at an hour and a half, and y'all, my legs are numb, my butt is numb, and I need a cigarette. So, love y'all. Don't forget about the Facebook group. It is a private group. Love y'all so much, and thank y'all for being here with me tonight. See you all Sunday. Bye, y'all.